First contact. The arrival. The day the Galactic Confederation arrived was meant to be humanity's greatest triumph. Instead, it became the prelude to our greatest challenge. Captain Ilara Chen stood on the bridge of the ISS Horizon, Earth's most advanced space station, as the alien fleet shimmered into existence just beyond the moon's orbit. The ships were unlike anything humans had ever conceived. Organic curves melded seamlessly with crystalline structures, pulsing with an inner light that seemed almost alive. "All stations, report," Ilara commanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Communications online, Captain," Lieutenant Ravi Patel responded. "We're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel." Ilara took a deep breath. "Put it through." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that defied easy description. It had 4 arms, iridescent skin, and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies. When it spoke, its voice resonated with a harmony that made the air itself vibrate. "Greetings, children of Earth. I am High Ambassador Zixlianthor of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace and with great tidings. Your species has been deemed worthy of joining our grand alliance of civilizations." Ilara's training kicked in. "Welcome, High Ambassador. I am Captain Ilara Chen of the International Space Station Horizon. On behalf of humanity, we are honored by your presence and your offer." As the initial pleasantries were exchanged, Dr. Marcus Donovan, the station's lead xenobiologist, leaned in close to Ilara. "Captain, something feels off. Their body language, if you can call it that, suggests they're amused, like they're talking to children." Ilara nodded almost imperceptibly. She'd sensed it too, but diplomacy demanded they proceed cautiously. "High Ambassador, we would be delighted to begin discussions on Earth. Our leaders are eager to meet with you." Zixlianthor's mouthparts twitched in what might have been a smile. "Of course, young one. We shall descend to your world and enlighten you with the wisdom of the stars." As the transmission ended, Ilara turned to her crew. "Opinions." Dr. Donovan spoke first. "They're patronizing us. Advanced, yes, but there's an arrogance there that could be dangerous." Lieutenant Patel nodded in agreement. "Their technology is centuries beyond ours, Captain. If they decide to be less than friendly, we don't stand a chance." Ilara's eyes hardened with determination. "Then we make sure it doesn't come to that. We'll play along, learn what we can, and hope they underestimate us long enough for us to catch up." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. The Galactic Confederation's ships took up positions around Earth, their presence both awe-inspiring and terrifying. World leaders scrambled to present a united front, setting aside old rivalries in the face of this new paradigm. Ilara found herself at the center of it all, acting as humanity's primary liaison to the aliens. She attended countless meetings, decoded alien protocols, and tried to bridge the vast gulf between human and Confederation cultures. It was during one such meeting in New York that Ilara first met Clarix, a junior diplomat from a species called the Volux. Unlike the other aliens, Clarix seemed genuinely curious about humans, peppered Ilara with questions about Earth's history and culture. "Your species is fascinating, Captain Chen," Clarix chittered, his antennae waving excitedly. "Such diversity, such passion. It's no wonder you've advanced so quickly." Ilara smiled, warming to the alien's enthusiasm. "We've had our struggles, Clarix, but we've always strived to be better." Clarix's compound eyes gleamed. "That's what makes you so intriguing. Most species we encounter are content with their lot. Humans, you're never satisfied. Always pushing, always questioning." A shadow passed over Clarix's features. "Be careful, though. Not everyone in the Confederation appreciates such fervor." Before Ilara could press for details, High Ambassador Zixlianthor glided over, effectively ending the conversation. "I trust you're not overwhelming our human friend with too much information, Diplomat Clarix." Clarix's antennae drooped slightly. "Of course not, High Ambassador. just engaging in cultural exchange. Zixalanthor turned to Ilara, his galaxy eyes swirling. Captain Chen, we have prepared a gift for humanity, a token of our goodwill and a taste of what awaits you in the Confederation. With a gesture, Zixalanthor summoned a shimmering cube that hovered in the air between them. This is a quantum fold generator. It will revolutionize your energy production, solving many of your world's problems. At a stroke, Ilara's heart raced at the implications. Clean, unlimited energy could transform human society overnight. But years of sci-fi stories and her own instincts made her wary. That's incredibly generous, High Ambassador. We'll need to study it carefully, of course, to ensure it's compatible with our systems. Zixalanthor's eye galaxies pulsed. Of course, young one. Take all the time you need. We have eternity to wait. As the day's meetings concluded, Ilara found herself on a balcony overlooking the New York skyline. The Confederation ships loomed in the sky, a constant reminder of humanity's new reality. Dr. Donovan joined her, his face grave. Initial analysis of the quantum fold generator is complete. It's incredible, Ilara. It could power the entire planet with virtually no waste. Ilara nodded, her eyes still on the alien ships. But it's also a potential doomsday device. If it malfunctions or is deliberately sabotage, it could tear a hole in space-time large enough to swallow the solar system. Ilara's hands gripped the railing tightly. They're testing us, seeing if we'll blindly accept their gift without understanding the consequences. Donovan sighed. What do we do? Ilara turned to him, her eyes blazing with determination. We do what humanity does best, Marcus. We adapt. We learn. And we prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. As night fell over New York, the glittering Confederation ships seemed to mock the city's lights. Humanity stood on the precipice of a new era, but whether it would lead to enlightenment or extinction remained to be seen. Ilara Chen, caught between two worlds, knew one thing for certain. The real challenges were just beginning. The Galactic Confederation thought they were dealing with cute, harmless primitives. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Cultural exchange. Hidden dangers. In the months following first contact, Earth became a hub of interstellar activity. Confederation ships shuttled diplomats, scientists, and curious aliens to and from the planet, while humans marveled at the wonders of alien technology and culture. Captain Ilara Chen found herself at the heart of this whirlwind. As Earth's primary liaison to the Galactic Confederation, she attended countless meetings, supervised technology transfers, and tried to bridge the vast cultural divide between humans and their new galactic neighbors. One crisp autumn morning, Ilara stood in a newly constructed alien cultural center in Beijing, watching as a group of wide-eyed schoolchildren interacted with a holographic display of the Milky Way. Fascinating, isn't it? A familiar voice chittered beside her. Ilara turned to see Clorix, the Volix diplomat she'd met in New York. It's incredible, Ilara agreed. A few months ago, these kids were dreaming of being astronauts. Now they're learning about civilizations on the other side of the galaxy. Clorix's antennae twitched, and what Ilara had learned was a sign of amusement. And yet, I sense you're not entirely comfortable with all this progress. Ilara hesitated, then decided to be frank. It's not the progress that worries me, Clorix. It's the pace. We're being given technologies we barely understand, making decisions that will affect the future of our entire species. And all the while, I can't shake the feeling that we're being tested. Clorix's compound eyes seemed to darken. Your instincts serve you well, Captain Chen. The Confederation. It's not always what it seems. There are factions, competing interests. Some see humans as a fascinating new addition to galactic society. Others see us as a potential threat. Ilara finished. Clorix nodded solemnly. You must understand, your species is unique. Most races the Confederation encounters are either too primitive to be of interest or so advanced that assimilation is smooth and uneventful. Humans, though, you're on the cusp. capable of incredible leaps of innovation, yet still raw, unpredictable. Before Ilara could press for more details, a commotion near the entrance caught their attention. High Ambassador Zixlianthor had arrived, flanked by an entourage of various alien species. "Ah, Captain Chen." Zixlianthor's harmonious voice resonated through the room. "I trust you're enjoying our little cultural exchange." Ilara straightened, slipping into her diplomatic persona. "Indeed, High Ambassador. The children are particularly entranced by your star maps." Zixlianthor's eye galaxies swirled. "Yes, the young ones are always so eager to learn. Speaking of which, we have an exciting opportunity for some of Earth's brightest minds. The Confederation is offering positions at our most prestigious research institutions across the galaxy." Ilara's pulse quickened. This was both an incredible opportunity and a potential disaster. "That's very generous, High Ambassador. I'm sure many of our scientists would be thrilled at the chance." "Excellent," Zixlianthor pulsed. "We'll begin the selection process immediately. Oh, and Captain, we've noticed your world is still struggling with the implementation of the quantum fold generator. Perhaps it's time we sent some of our engineers to assist you." The implied criticism stung, but Ilara kept her composure. "Thank you for the offer, High Ambassador. I'll discuss it with our science team and get back to you." As Zixlianthor moved on to greet other dignitaries, Ilara felt a gentle tap on her shoulder. Dr. Marcus Donovan had arrived, his face etched with concern. "Ilara, we need to talk. Privately." They found a quiet corner of the center, away from prying eyes and ears, both human and alien. "What is it, Marcus?" Ilara asked, noting the tension in her friend's posture. Donovan's voice was low and urgent. "We've made a breakthrough with the quantum fold generator. We can replicate the technology, maybe even improve on it. But there's a catch." Ilara raised an eyebrow. "I'm listening." "The generator. It's not just an energy source. It's a key to faster-than-light travel, instantaneous communication across vast distances, maybe even time manipulation. If we master this technology, we'd be on par with the Confederation in a matter of years, not centuries." Ilara's mind raced with the implications. "And if the Confederation realizes we've figured this out?" "Exactly," Donovan nodded grimly. "They might decide we're too dangerous to let loose in the galaxy." Their conversation was interrupted by a high-pitched scream. Ilara and Donovan rushed back to the main hall to find chaos unfolding. One of the alien diplomats, a towering insectoid creature, was writhing on the floor, its exoskeleton turning a sickly shade of green. Nearby, a human child stood frozen in terror. An alien fruit dropped from her hand. "What happened?" Ilara demanded, pushing through the crowd. Zixlianthor's voice cut through the panic. "The child offered Ambassador Krelox a Terran fruit. It seems your primitive biology is poisoned to more advanced life forms." Ilara bristled at the condescension in Zixlianthor's tone, but focused on the crisis at hand. "Dr. Donovan, can you help?" Donovan was already kneeling beside the stricken alien, scanner in hand. "It's an allergic reaction, severe but treatable. I need access to your medical bay now." As Donovan worked to stabilize the alien diplomat, Ilara turned to address the panicked crowd. "Please, everyone remain calm. This was an unfortunate accident, nothing more. We'll take every precaution to ensure it doesn't happen again." But even as she spoke, Ilara could see the damage was done. The alien diplomats huddled together, eyeing the humans with newfound wariness. The human attendees looked shocked and confused, the earlier wonder replaced by fear and uncertainty. In the midst of the chaos, Ilara caught Clorix's eye. The Volix diplomat's expression was unreadable, but a subtle nod conveyed volumes. The stakes had just been raised. As the day drew to a close and the cultural center emptied, Ilara found herself alone with her thoughts. The incident with Ambassador Krelox would have repercussions, she was sure. But it was Donovan's revelation about the quantum fold generator that truly weighed on her mind. Humanity stood at a crossroads. The knowledge they'd gained from the Confederation could propel them to the stars, but it could also make them a target. The aliens saw humans as cute, harmless primitives. But how quickly would that perception change if they realized the true potential of the species they'd so casually introduced to the galactic stage? Ilara gazed out at the Beijing skyline, where Confederation ships now mingled with Earth's satellites. She made a decision. It was time for humanity to start playing the long game. They would continue to play the role of the eager knave species, all while quietly preparing for the day when they would stand as equals, or adversaries, to the Galactic Confederation. As she left the cultural center, Ilara's comm unit buzzed with an urgent message from UN headquarters. The quantum fold generator in Nevada had just gone critical, and strange energy readings were being detected across the globe. The next phase of humanity's great test was about to begin. The ultimatum, humanity's choice. The quantum fold generator's malfunction sent shockwaves through both human and alien communities. As Ilara Chen raced to the emergency meeting at the United Nations, reports flooded in from around the globe. Strange gravitational anomalies were appearing at random, disrupting everything from air traffic to cellular networks. The UN General Assembly Hall was a cacophony of raised voices and frantic discussions when Ilara arrived. She quickly spotted Dr. Marcus Donovan, huddled with a group of scientists near the front, their faces grim as they pored over data streams. "What's our status?" Ilara asked, joining them. Donovan looked up, his eyes red-rimmed from lack of sleep. "It's worse than we thought, Ilara. The quantum fold generator isn't just malfunctioning, it's evolving. It's creating micro-wormholes across the planet, and they're growing." Before Ilara could respond, a hush fell over the assembly. High Ambassador Zixlianthor had arrived, flanked by a contingent of Confederation officials. The alien diplomat's usually smooth movements seemed jerky, agitated. "Humans of Earth," Zixlianthor's voice boomed, no longer melodious but sharp and commanding. "Your reckless mishandling of our technology has placed not just your world, but this entire sector of the galaxy at risk. The Galactic Confederation hereby issues an ultimatum." The room erupted in shouts and protests, but Zixlianthor continued, unperturbed. "You have two options. 1. Submit to full Confederation control. We will neutralize the quantum fold generator and assume governance of your world to prevent further incidents. Your species will be placed under protective custody until deemed responsible enough for limited galactic interaction." Ilara's fists clenched at her sides. This was the patronizing attitude she'd sensed from the beginning, finally laid bare. "Or 2, Zixlianthor continued, "refuse our help, and we will be forced to take more drastic measures to contain the threat your world now poses." The implication hung heavy in the air. Quarantine or annihilation, neither option acceptable. As world leaders argued and debated, Ilara felt a gentle tug on her sleeve. It was Clyrix, the Volux diplomat, his antennae twitching nervously. "Captain Chen," he whispered, "there's something you need to know. The quantum fold generator, its malfunction wasn't an accident. It was sabotage." Ilara's blood ran cold. Sabotage? By whom? Clyrix's compound eyes darted around nervously. "There's a faction within the Confederation, isolationists who believe emerging species like yours are a threat to galactic stability. They orchestrated this crisis to force the Confederation's hand." The pieces fell into place in Ilara's mind. The condescension, the gift of technology beyond their understanding, the push to integrate humans into Confederation institutions, it had all been leading to this moment. "We need proof," Ilara hissed, "and a plan." As if on cue, her comm unit buzzed. It was a message from the team working on the quantum fold generator. Breakthrough achieved. Control established. Awaiting orders. A plan began to form in Ilara's mind. It was risky, perhaps even foolhardy, but it was also very, very human. She strode to the center of the assembly, her voice cutting through the chaos. "High Ambassador Zixlianthor, Esteemed leaders of Earth, I have a third option to propose. All eyes turned to her, human and alien alike. The quantum fold generator crisis is not a result of human incompetence, but of deliberate sabotage by elements within the Confederation itself. She paused, letting the accusation sink in. We have proof, and more importantly, we have control. With a nod to Donovan, the main screen lit up with a live feed from the Nevada facility. The quantum fold generator pulsed with energy, but now the micro-wormholes were coalescing, forming a stable portal. Humanity rejects your ultimatum, Ilara continued, her voice steady. We also reject the false choice between subservience and destruction. Instead, we choose to forge our own path. Zixlianthor's eye galaxies swirled in confusion and growing alarm. Impossible. You couldn't have mastered the technology so quickly. Ilara allowed herself a small, fierce smile. You underestimated us, Ambassador. A common mistake when dealing with humans. We don't just adapt. We innovate. We take ideas and push them beyond their original limits. She turned to address the assembly at large. The quantum fold generator is now under our full control. We can shut it down safely, or, she paused for effect, we can use it to open a gateway to any point in the galaxy, including the heart of Confederation space. The implications weren't lost on anyone in the room. Earth had just announced itself as a major player on the galactic stage. So here's our proposal, Ilara continued. The Confederation withdraws all forces from the Sol system immediately. Earth will seal its borders while we prepare for controlled, limited interaction with galactic society. We will share our advancements in quantum fold technology with the Confederation as a gesture of good faith, in exchange for fair and equal treatment moving forward. Ilara met his gaze steadily. We would risk everything to remain free, Ambassador. It's kind of our thing. As negotiations began in earnest, Ilara felt a mix of pride and trepidation. Humanity had stood its ground, but the real challenges were just beginning. They had nudged the door to the galaxy open, but what lay beyond was still unknown. One thing was certain: the Galactic Confederation, and the galaxy at large, would never again make the mistake of underestimating the cute, harmless humans of Earth. As the debates raged on and plans were made, Ilara slipped away to a quiet corner. She activated her comm unit, connecting to the team at the quantum fold generator. "Status report," she demanded. The response came back, tense but excited. "Portal is stable, Captain. We're receiving signals from..." Well, you're not going to believe this, but it looks like we've tapped into some kind of galactic communication network. The amount of data coming through is astronomical. Ilara allowed herself a moment of pure wonder. In forcing their hand, the Confederation had inadvertently opened up the universe to humanity in ways they had never intended. "Download everything," she ordered, "and prepare a probe. It's time we did some exploring of our own." As she ended the call, Ilara gazed out at the New York skyline, where Confederation ships still hovered uncertainly. The future was unwritten, full of danger and possibility in equal measure. But for the first time since first contact, Ilara felt a surge of genuine hope. Humanity had been backed into a corner and had come out swinging. They had proven themselves not just to the Galactic Confederation, but to themselves. The galaxy thought it had encountered a quaint, primitive species. Instead, it had awakened a sleeping giant, and Ilara Chen, along with the rest of humanity, was ready to show the stars what Earthlings were truly capable of. Defiance. Humanity strikes back. The weeks following Earth's defiant stand against the Galactic Confederation were a whirlwind of activity. As Confederation ships reluctantly withdrew from Earth's orbit, humanity scrambled to prepare for whatever came next. Captain Ilara Chen found herself at the center of it all, coordinating Earth's new defensive strategies while also overseeing the exploration of the vast galactic database they tapped into through the quantum fold generator. "Another sleepless night, Captain." Dr. Marcus Donovan's voice startled Ilara from her reverie. She was standing in the newly constructed Quantum Command Center, a sprawling underground facility that housed Earth's most advanced technologies. Ilara managed a tired smile. Sleep is for those not responsible for the fate of an entire planet, Marcus. Donovan nodded sympathetically. Well, I might have something to help with that. Our teams have made a breakthrough in decoding the Confederation's tactical databases. You're going to want to see this. They hurried to the main control room, where a holographic display dominated the center. As Donovan input commands, a 3D map of the local galactic arms sprang to life, dotted with countless stars and worlds. This, Donovan said, highlighting a series of points, is the current disposition of Confederation forces. And this, he added, bringing up another layer of data, is their planned response to our, let's call it our galactic debut. Ilara's eyes widened as she took in the information. The Confederation was mobilizing a fleet larger than anything mentioned in the historical records they'd accessed. They're not just coming to subdue us. This is an extermination force. Donovan nodded grimly. Apparently, we crossed a line when we not only mastered their tech, but improved upon it. Some factions within the Confederation see us as an existential threat that needs to be eliminated before we can spread beyond our solar system. Ilara's mind raced. Earth's defenses had improved dramatically thanks to the quantum fold technology, but they were still woefully outmatched in terms of raw firepower and numbers. They needed an edge, something unexpected. Her eyes fell on a blinking notification on one of the secondary screens. What's that? Donovan followed her gaze. Oh, that's from the xenobiology team. They'd been studying the biological data we pulled from the Confederation archives. Something about Confederation species' unique vulnerabilities. I haven't had a chance to review it yet. A spark of an idea flared in Ilara's mind. Get me everything they have now. And contact the UN Security Council. I think I might have a plan. Hours later, Ilara stood before the hastily assembled world leaders, her plan laid out before them. The room was silent as they digested the audacity of what she was proposing. You want to weaponize coffee? The U.S. president was the first to break the silence, his tone a mixture of disbelief and grudging admiration. Ilara nodded. Not just coffee. Chocolate, spicy foods, even certain types of pollen. Our xenobiologists have discovered that many of the compounds humans consume or interact with daily are highly toxic or disorienting to most Confederation species. But how do we deploy such weapons against a technologically superior force? The Chinese premier asked, leaning forward with interest. Ilara's eyes gleamed. That's where our improved quantum fold technology comes in. We can open microportals directly into Confederation ships and stations, deploying our chemical weapons with pinpoint accuracy. The room erupted into a flurry of questions and debates. It was a radical plan, one that flew in the face of conventional military doctrine. But then again, nothing about humanity's current situation was conventional. As the arguments raged, Ilara felt a presence at her side. It was Clorix, the Volix diplomat who had become an unofficial liaison between Earth and the more sympathetic elements of the Confederation. An interesting strategy, Captain Chen. Clorix chittered softly. But you should know that the Confederation's response will be severe. There are those who will see this as confirmation of humanity's barbaric nature. Ilara's jaw set firmly. We're fighting for our survival, Clorix. If they want to see barbarians, we'll show them barbarians. The next few days were a frenzy of preparation. As the Confederation fleet approached the outer edges of the solar system, Earth's defenses snapped into place. Quantum fold generators, reverse-engineered and improved from the original design, were positioned at strategic points around the globe and throughout the solar system. The first wave of the Confederation attack came swiftly and without warning. Massive ships, dwarfing anything humanity had ever built, emerged from fold space near Jupiter. Their weapons powered up, ready to reduce Earth's outer colonies to cosmic dust. But humanity was ready. All units, execute Operation Caffeine Rush. Ilara commanded from the Quantum Command Center. Across the solar system, quantum portals winked into existence inside Confederation ships. Canisters of weaponized coffee extract, super spicy aerosols, and other seemingly innocuous Earth substances materialized in crucial systems and living quarters. The effect was immediate and devastating. Confederation crews, overwhelmed by substances their biology was never meant to process, fell into disarray. Ships veered off course, weapon systems misfired or shut down entirely. On the main view screen, Ilara watched with a mixture of awe and trepidation as the mighty Confederation fleet was thrown into chaos by glorified pepper spray and coffee grounds. "Second wave, deploy now," she ordered. This time, it was Earth ships that emerged from quantum portals, engaging the disoriented Confederation forces with weapons reverse-engineered from captured alien tech. What the human ships lacked in raw power, they made up for in maneuverability and the sheer audacity of their tactics. Fighter pilots, their systems augmented by AI trained on Confederation tactical data, danced between enemy fire, exploiting weaknesses that the aliens didn't even know they had. But the Confederation was not so easily defeated. As the initial shock wore off, their superior numbers began to tell. Earth's defenses, while holding, were being pushed to their limits. "Captain," one of the tactical officers called out, "we're detecting a massive energy buildup in the Confederation flagship. It looks like they're preparing to fire their main weapon. If that hits Earth..." Ilara's mind raced. They had one card left to play, a desperate gambit that could either save Earth or doom it entirely. "Activate Protocol Omega," she commanded, her voice steady, despite the weight of the decision. Deep beneath the surface of the moon, a device of impossible complexity hummed to life. It was the culmination of everything humanity had learned about quantum-fold technology, pushed to theoretical limits and beyond. A wave of energy pulsed outward, engulfing the Earth, the moon, and the entire human fleet. For a moment, the fabric of space-time itself seemed to hiccup. And then, in an instant, the entire Sol system vanished. The Confederation flagship's weapon fired, its beam of unimaginable power lancing through empty space where Earth had been moments before. Thousands of light-years away, in an unremarkable star system on the edge of the galaxy, a new sun suddenly blinked into existence. Earth, its moon, and the battered but undefeated human fleet had escaped annihilation by the slimmest of margins. As alarms blared and confused reports flooded in, Ilara allowed herself a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph. Humanity had not just survived, they had changed the rules of the game entirely. The cute, harmless humans had bared their teeth, and the galaxy would never be the same. Resolution: a new galactic order. The relocation of an entire star system was unprecedented in galactic history. As Earth and its colonies materialized in their new cosmic neighborhood, the shock rippled through the Galactic Confederation like a supernova. Captain Ilara Chen stood on the observation deck of the Quantum Command Center, now orbiting Earth in its new location. The unfamiliar stars painted alien constellations across the void, a constant reminder of how far they'd come, and how much had changed. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of recent events. Dr. Marcus Donovan, looking haggard but triumphant, pulled up a holographic display. "The quantum relocation was a complete success, Captain. Earth and all its colonies are intact. We're currently in a star system about 50,000 light-years from our original position, well outside Confederation space." Ilara nodded, allowing herself a small smile. "And the Confederation?" In disarray came a chittering voice from behind them. Clorix, the Volix diplomat, approached, his antenna twitching with a mix of awe and anxiety. "Your unprecedented action has thrown the entire power structure into chaos. Many are calling for an all-out war to hunt you down. Others are advocating for a complete reassessment of how the Confederation deals with emerging species." Ilara turned to face the alien who had become an unlikely ally. "And where do you stand in all this, Clorix?" The Volix's compound eyes seemed to shimmer. "I stand with progress, Captain Chen. Your species has demonstrated capabilities that challenge everything we thought we knew about the universe. It would be foolish and dangerous to ignore that. As if on cue, alarms began to blare throughout the station. Lieutenant Ravi Patel's voice came over the comms, tense but controlled. Captain, we're detecting multiple quantum fold signatures. It's a Confederation fleet, but not the one we escaped from. Ilara's mind raced. This was the moment they had been preparing for, the true test of humanity's new place in the cosmic order. Battle stations, she commanded, but hold fire unless fired upon. Let's see what they want. The main view screen lit up, showing a vast array of Confederation ships materializing around Earth's new orbital position. At their center was a vessel unlike any they had encountered before, sleek, almost organic in its design, pulsing with an energy that seemed to bend space itself around it. A transmission came through, and a figure appeared on the screen. It was not the familiar form of High Ambassador Zix Lianfor, but a beam of shifting light and shadow, its features indistinct, yet somehow radiating ancient wisdom and power. Greetings, humans of Earth. The being's voice resonated, not through sound, but directly in their minds. I am Xirak, eldest of the Confederation Council. We have come to negotiate. Ilara stepped forward, her posture straight and proud. Eldest Xirak, I am Captain Ilara Chen, representing Earth and humanity. We are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary, but we would prefer peaceful dialogue. The being's form shimmered, what might have been amusement or respect rippling through its ethereal body. Your species continues to surprise us, Captain Chen. Moving an entire star system. It's been theoretical for eons, yet you achieved it out of sheer necessity and will. Clerics moved to Ilara's side, his voice low. The eldest rarely intervene in Confederation affairs. This is unprecedented. Gizurak continued. Your actions have forced us to confront uncomfortable truths about our own complacency and the flaws in our approach to emerging species. We propose a new arrangement. Over the next several hours, negotiations unfolded on a scale never before seen in Earth's history. The terms were complex, the implications far-reaching, but the core was clear. Humanity would be granted full autonomy and a seat on the Confederation Council, in exchange for sharing their unique innovations and perspective. As the talks concluded, Ilara found herself face-to-face with Xirak in a private quantum communication. The beam's form seemed to study her intently. You have led your people well, Captain Chen, but I sense there is something you wish to ask. Ilara took a deep breath. Why now? Why did the eldest choose to intervene at this moment? Xirak's form rippled. Because you forced us to see what we had forgotten. The power of adaptation, of thinking beyond established limits. Your humanity, as you call it, your blend of ingenuity, determination, and even your capacity for both compassion and warfare. It is a mirror showing us what we once were, and what we could be again. The being's form seemed to expand, encompassing the stars themselves. The galaxy is entering a new age, Captain Chen. Old threats stir in the dark between stars, and new challenges arise that will test us all. The Confederation needs humanity's spark if we are to face what comes next. As the communication ended, Ilara stood in silence, the weight of the future heavy on her shoulders. They had survived, yes, but more than that, they had earned their place among the stars. In the days that followed, Earth buzzed with activity. Preparations were made for the first human delegates to the Confederation Council. Scientists eagerly dove into the full Confederation databases, now open to them. And plans were drawn up for joint human-alien expeditions to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Standing once again on the observation deck, Ilara watched as ships from a dozen alien races docked with Earth stations, no longer as conquerors or patrons, but as equals and allies. Dr. Donovan joined her, a tired but satisfied expression on his face. So, Captain, was it worth it? All the risk, the sacrifices. Ilara's gaze remained fixed on the stars, new stars, in an unfamiliar sky, full of possibility. Ask me again in 100 years, Marcus. I have a feeling we're just getting started. As if to punctuate her words, a brilliant light streaked across the alien sky. Earth's first official joint expedition with the Confederation, heading out into the unknown. The humans who had seemed so cute and harmless had not only bared their teeth, but had reshaped the very nature of galactic society. And as Ilara Chen watched that ship disappear into the cosmos, she knew one thing for certain. The greatest adventures and challenges still lay ahead. In the vast tapestry of the universe, humanity had claimed its thread. Now it was time to see what pattern they would weave.